So, Marcellus, is Lamar Jackson a $40 million a year QB?
At least a $40 million a year QB. Absolutely. Golly, you know I love this dude. You know I can go there all day and wax poetic about how great Lamar Jackson is. And I'm going to do some of that right now. But it's so many ways to attack this. I keep talking about how there's only two of Lamar Jacksons in the world, and obviously he's one as a unanimous MVP. So you got to pay that guy accordingly. You got to respect what he's earned. It's not about giving what Lamar Jackson wants. It's about what he's earned. And what he's earned is over $40 million a year. So let's go to our classic example of Beverly Hills adjacent living Acho. Okay, because if you live in Beverly Hills, you have a jacket on today. But you live in Beverly Hills adjacent, and that's how you come out the house. Okay. Lamar Jackson really has no competition to talk about. Okay, everybody gonna say Patrick Mahomes. Okay, duh. That's not even competition. That's out of the stratosphere. That's like saying, oh, yeah, I got to race Usain Bolt. It's like, nah, just race for second. This is really a race for second. Who's gonna be the second highest paid quarterback, correct? So now let's use some comps to attack this. There's a Dak Prescott who just got $40 million, and there's a Deshaun Watson right under there at $39 million. You really want to do this? Because we know that Deshaun Watson has to be the floor for when you're talking about how much you're going to pay Lamar Jackson. Forget the floor, the basement. Let's go to the East Coast. The basement, because there's no way you could pay him less than $39 million, because look at Deshaun Watson versus look at Lamar Jackson. Deshaun's only 2 games over 500. What the hell? 29 and 27 for his career. Don't look at me like that, because Deshaun, your boy. Lamar is 31 and 10. So we know what the basement is. 31 and 10 versus 29 and 27. Now, everybody gonna say, it's different situations, different teams. Duh. So let's do this. What's been your impact? What has been your significant impact to your situation? The Ravens, let's go 3 years before they both got there. The Ravens, 22 wins, no playoff appearances in the 3 years before Lamar Jackson. What about the Texans? 27 wins, not that much better, but 2 playoff appearances. Wait a minute. And Lamar went to a worse situation and had that kind of impact on it than a Deshaun Watson. So if Deshaun is 39, we know what you got to be. Now let's talk about Dak. I love me some Dak too. But Dak, in the playoffs, kind of like Lamar. However, when you talk about, do you have an MVP? Do you have a unanimous MVP? Is everything based on you, or is this combination between your receiving core, Ezekiel Elliott, what the O-line does, et cetera, and allowing you to grow? No. So Lamar Jackson has just looked at the comps, the competition, really. Dak, Deshaun, pat. Y'all both get out the way. Lamar's going to make at least what Deshaun made, at least what Dak made. That's 40+ million.
That is fair. But, Sel, when you think about a question simply, you will get a simple answer. You're thinking about this question very simply. Is Lamar Jackson a $40 million a year quarterback? Well, duh. If you compare him to what the market currently dictates that you pay for quarterbacks, of course he is. Yeah, Lamar Jackson's a better quarterback than Dak Prescott by all metrics. So, yes, he is. Lamar Jackson's a better quarterback than Deshaun Watson by many metrics. So, yes, duh.
All right.
But, Sal, when you think about things more complex, because life is more complex, right? At least if you want to succeed in this life, you can't think about things so simply. I think about complexities. If you're paying a quarterback $40 million a year, I want a Super Bowl, and I don't want you to be a limiting reactant for me receiving a Super Bowl. I'm going to go somewhere, and I will arrive back. We can go to the airport, since I just told y'all I'm going to take y'all somewhere. If you go to the airport, Marcellus Wiley, and you see an 8-ounce bottle of water for $3.75, well, then the 20-ounce bottle of water, if it's only $4, yes, it's worth it. Of course.
Yes.
But the real issue at hand is that the 8-ounce bottle of water was never worth $3.75. The airport's already charging too much for the 8-ounce. So if you're going to ask me an isolated question, well, Emmanuel Acho is a 20-ounce worth $4? Yeah, compared to the 8-ounce. But the problem is they overpricing for bottles of water. The problem is Dak Prescott, to me, philosophically, if you're talking $40 million, there are only 3 to 4 quarterbacks that's worth $40 million. Because if I'm paying you $40 million, I don't want you to be a limiting reactant for a Super Bowl. So who are the 4? Patrick Mahomes. He's not a limiting reactant for his team's success. Aaron Rodgers, he's not a limiting reactant for his team's success. Tom Brady, he's not a limiting reactant for his team's success. And I would submit, but I won't argue about Russell Wilson. Now, you might say, well, Russell Wilson went 11 for 28 or whatnot in the playoffs, 40% completion percentage. That's why I said I will not argue that. But if I'm paying you $40 million a year, I want you to win me a Super Bowl. And if you don't, Just don't be the limiting reactant for my success. The Ravens lost to your Bills in the playoffs by 14 points. Lamar Jackson threw a 100-yard pick six, 14-point swing. The Ravens in the first playoff loss, Lamar Jackson's rookie year. Where'd Lamar Jackson go? The Ravens in the playoff loss last year, Lamar Jackson's sophomore season. What's the deal? Because Lamar Jackson in the playoffs, Marcellus Wiley versus Lamar Jackson in the regular season, and y'all got the full screen, so y'all look at the numbers. What's really good? Regular season, 64% completion percentage. Playoffs, 56. Regular season passer rating, 102. Playoffs, 66. As I look at it, Lamar Jackson, come playoff time, you could argue that he's the limiting reactant for his team's success, meaning it's Lamar Jackson that's stopping them from succeeding. The last thing I'm going to say is this.
Wow.
The way I look at the philosophy is if I'm going to pay you a ton of money, I'm not paying you a ton of money to sell tickets. I'm not paying you a ton of money to win individual rewards. I'm paying you a ton of money to win it all. Like, I vehemently disagree with the fact that Russell Westbrook has been a multi-million-dollar supermax dude. Russell Westbrook, he's one of the best, most talented players. But I'm like, yo, is he going to win a chip? No.
Don't do that.
I'm not doing that to Lamar right now.
3-1,
I'm not doing that to Lamar
OKC.
right now. What I'm saying is this, Sal. Are you paying a guy because the market dictates his value? Sure. Lamar is clearly worth it if Dak is worth 40. But my issue at hand is this. I don't think Dak is worth 40. I don't think Carson Wentz was worth what he got paid. I don't think Jared Goff was worth what he got paid. And I think the Eagles, I think the Rams currently, I think the Niners with Jimmy G, I think the Vikings with Kirk Cousins, I think several teams would agree with me about several quarterbacks. So I say that, yes, Lamar Jackson is worth it compared to some cats. But the real question is, have we been overpaying all along?
Boy, talking about throwing them curveballs, boy. I love coming up to plate with you because I don't know what's coming. Whoa! A little inside there, big dog. You know, I'm pretty pumped on this one right now. You gave me something to think about. I love you. I love you. I love you. But maybe you're overthinking it because you talked about complexities. And I like, first of all, when you're at the airport, just take your take your laptop, take your phone, plug in, listen to a podcast. Stop over there having a complexity conversation mentally and the philosophy of water at the airport store. That's what you're in there doing, and that's the problem with you. You said a sentence, Mark. I have a problem that, no, you said these guys are getting paid just because the market dictates their value.
Yes, sir.
That's literally all you get paid. Like, I understand you have a frustration with that. I understand you have a problem with that. You had a problem, obviously, with your tailor with that. And you're like, I'm not paying that much for the jacket. And then look at you. You come in looking like that. I can't believe I got a co-host. I have a friend who says that since all these other teams are doing the wrong thing, let's not do the right thing. Oh, wait a minute. You didn't think I was going to flip it that way. They did the wrong thing, you're saying. Yeah, Deshaun. Oh, yeah, Dak. You saying they shouldn't have got paid that. I can say that. I can agree with that. We can have that segment. But that ain't this segment. Since they did get that, that's what we use to jump up from, right?
Correct.
And Lamar Jackson, by all metrics, has shown that he deserves that. I'm not talking about passing yards. I'm not talking about...
Vernon, do two wrongs make a right?
No, I just said Lamar is right. Who else? Name another MVP in this conversation of comps. Go. You can't. You know what? Don't. Have you ever won MVP? Me either. Of
course not.
Pop Warner. Yeah, I did actually. But stop, dog. In the NFL, of all football players currently existing, you're the best one, and you don't get paid accordingly?
Do you believe that this current Lamar Jackson with the current Baltimore Ravens and the current offensive coordinator can win a Super Bowl?
Yes.
Yesterday you told me otherwise.
What did I say? And I'm going to say it again. If they grow and evolve. Like, I didn't expect it. Did you expect them to win a Super Bowl their rookie year? No. Now, we were surprised their second year how good they were, especially how good Lamar Jackson was. But to the point that they had to win a Super Bowl, was it necessitated? No. It wasn't necessary in that moment. Last year, all this talk of regression, Lamar Jackson still went out there, 36 total touchdowns? Like, he balled, but he just didn't ball at the same heights and ascension as the heavens that he was in the year before. So when is he supposed to have won this Super Bowl?
Let's have the real conversation. Because
you don't like this one?
It's easy for me to say, yes, Lamar Jackson's worth $40 million if Dak is worth $40 million. But everybody would say yes to that because Lamar's better than Dak. Dak gets $40 million. Lamar gets $40 million.
Yes.
Let's move on. Let's go to commercial break. No, it's too simple. The real question then becomes, if you're paying a guy $40 million, what do you want in return? And what I'm saying I want in return is for you to not stand in the way of me winning a Super Bowl. And statistically, Lamar Jackson in the playoffs He has stood in the way of the Ravens winning. This isn't my opinion.
That's
I wish
Peyton
it
Manning
was.
2.0
I wish
stuff.
it was.
You will eat those words very soon.
Then when we eat them, can we pay?
No, because he already's
You
eating.
kill what you eat.
Yeah,
you
but
kill what you eat. You eat what you kill.
You know who he killed? He killed not only the MVP trophy. He said, "Give me the unanimous one." They's like, "We only bring this out for one special guy. We've only brought this out once ever."
Okay.
He killed that
But
one
let's
too.
Let's talk. And I wish we could ask Ravens fans and poll right now. What playoff quarterback would you rather have? Lamar Jackson in the playoffs or Joe Flacco in the playoffs?
Oh, don't do that.
I have to.
Don't do
because
that.
Joe Flacco in the playoffs, when we had Torrey Smith on this show, Super Bowl winner, receiver for the Ravens when they won with Joe Flacco last week. What playoff quarterback would you rather have? Right now, I think
Did he play with Lamar?
I think Ravens fans would I don't even need the pen. I think Ravens fans would rather have Joe Flacco at the quarterback position.
Yeah, because you saw the results. He won a Super Bowl.
And we've seen the playoff results with Lamar.
We haven't seen his career results. You're going to compare him to old-ass Flacco who did it? Defense, running game. Man, don't even do this. Did Joe Flacco ever win the MVP?
But that's not the matter. I'm not paying you $40 to win an MVP,
Hold
Sal.
on. It's stepping stones, bro. I know that you got to the top of the mountain just by helicopter. You ain't even say, I'm going to climb it. And Lamar's climbing it. He already climbed the unanimous MVP. He's already climbed in terms of leading the league in passing touchdowns. But you don't like this climb because he's like, get to the top. Patrick Mahomes got paid. Did he win a Super Bowl? He's not in the way of them winning a Super Bowl, but did he get the results that you always say? And this is my problem. You make it so linear. You make the correlation, and it has to be direct. If you get paid, where's your Super Bowl? Dog, most players don't get Super Bowls, but most players get paid if they're of this caliber. So it's that simple.
So I think that there is a fracture in the organizational structure. For example, Flacco won his Super Bowl year 4, if I'm not mistaken, because remember, he got a Super Bowl before he got paid in year 5 off his rookie deal.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson going into year 4 now. Flacco 10-5 in the playoffs, sir. Last I checked, isn't Lamar Jackson 1-2 or 1-3? All I'm saying is this. Flacco won his Super Bowl, and then he got paid that dumb money. I think he had record-setting money.
Yeah, he did.
I'm not comparing Joe Flacco to Lamar Jackson as an individual quarterback. But what I'm saying is this. You pay a guy big-time money to succeed collectively. So, I come on this show, and you know I come on this show, you know you make significantly more money than me. It's problematic, but it's true.
I was here first, like Flacco. I'm not better.
But here's the kicker. They didn't bring me on the show to win individual Emmys. They didn't bring me on this show for an individual highlight reel. They brought me on this show to collectively increase the success of the show. So I can sit here and brag about my individual accolades till I'm blue in the face. I can throw my individual Emmys behind me and the Zooms and all that stuff. But they don't pay me, nor in theory do they pay you for individual success or individual accolades. They pay you and they pay me so we can collectively succeed. Lamar Jackson should be paid based on Dak being paid. But if it's all about collective success, don't you think we should see more? Or at least not see Lamar Jackson be a reason we're not seeing collective success?
Man, I just don't understand it. 2 things. 1, would you have paid John Elway ever? Because you know it took him to like a year 6. It took him long. It took him our lifetime. What do you mean it took him long? It took him like twice my career. I played 10 years. It took him like 20 years. 15, 16 years before he finally got what you said you have to have if you're getting paid. You wouldn't pay John Elway? Interesting. You would have been a good agent. Good general manager, probably even better. Let me poke at this before we get out of here, because it's such an interesting, rich topic. I know we got to move on, but you always say something about life in terms of its complexities and how difficult it is. And I'll finally have the moment. I finally have the moment where I'm going to challenge that.
Please.
Life is simple, but difficult. I'm going to repeat it. Life is simple, but difficult. What's simple about life is we all know what we need to do if we want to climb that mountain.
Yes, sir.
Whatever that goal is, whatever that endeavor is, right? But it's difficult to always subscribe to the commitment, discipline, and focus it takes to climb that mountain.
Yes, sir.
So what is basically that coach saying, you know what to do. Don't come up to me acting like you don't know what to do. You just don't always want to do it. When I look at a guy like Lamar Jackson, it's simple. What's going to happen with him? He's going to continue to evolve, like Jim Mora Jr. said. You know why? Because they have to evolve. He's already shown too many flashes of brilliance to sit there and idly let his career go by. He's going to continue to challenge this offense, continue to challenge defenses in a way that we don't see another quarterback challenge him. Jim Mora Jr. said in the article, you don't have any idea as a defensive coordinator what it takes to try and contain Lamar Jackson. It's just different, big dog. And since it's different, his money has to be different as well. I can't hear Dak conversations, Deshaun conversations, and then hear Lamar Jackson conversation and hear people refute his worth, his value, and what he's earned. Deshaun would trade his career with Lamar Jackson.
All day.
He should.
All day.
Dak, you too, even though you don't want to trade teams, you just want to trade careers. So the point is, the man's earned the money. Just show him the money.